Hey everyone, welcome back to Capital Conservatives, your go-to source for unfiltered political truth. Today, we're diving into a fiery Senate Judiciary hearing where Senator John Kennedy grilled experts on Big Pharma's dirty secrets, specifically how pharmacy benefit managers or PBMs are jacking up your prescription drug prices. This is insane and you deserve to know what's really happening. So stick around because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly who's to blame and what needs to change. Oh, and if you want more hard-hitting coverage, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's get into it. First up, monopoly power. Senator Kennedy drops a bombshell. 80% of the PBM market is controlled by just 3 companies, and they're vertically integrated, meaning they control everything from pricing to distribution.
Professor Sood, as I understand it, 80% of the PBM market is controlled by 3 companies, 3 PBMs, that are vertically integrated. Is that right?
That is correct.
Does your research show that the prices that consumers pay are higher than they would be if those companies were not vertically integrated?
So my research on Medicare Part D...
Give me an answer.
Partially.
What do you mean partially? They're either higher or they're lower.
So,
There's no such thing as a partial price.
What I find is that Medicare Part D premiums are higher as a result of vertical integration.
Okay. Well, then why don't we, I'm all for transparency, Mr. Chairman, I want to say that. But why don't we skip the foreplay and go right to the sex and outlaw vertical integration for Part D? Would you accept an amendment to your bill like that?
I don't want to answer that question right now because I want to study that.
Would you support that, Mr. Scott? Let me just guess what's your answer.
No, sir, and I can explain why.
No, you speak Sanskrit. I mean, I'm sorry. You know, you're good at it, and I know your job is to protect. And I might tell us I don't think PBMs are the only ones that fall, but you don't have unclean hands. Professor Sood, you say PBMs ought to be fiduciaries. To whom?
To both the plan and their members.
Well, what if the plan and the members' interests diverge? Who are they fiduciaries to?
Ultimately, in principle, they should be fiduciaries to the members.
Okay.
So, for example, ERISA makes...
I get it.
Okay.
I get it.
Kennedy asks, are drug prices higher because of this? And guess what? The answer is yes, especially in Medicare Part D, where premiums skyrocket thanks to these middlemen. This isn't just business, it's rigged, and Kennedy isn't having it. Then comes the best moment of the hearing. Kennedy says, why don't we skip the foreplay and go right to the sex? Translation? Stop dancing around the issue, ban vertical integration in Part D. But when he asks if the witnesses support that, they dodge the question. Even Senator Scott hesitates. Kennedy calls them out. You speak Sanskrit, your job is to protect PBMs. Mic drop.
Mr. Chairman, again, why don't we skip the foreplay and go right to the sex? Why don't we just amend your bill to require that PBMs have a fiduciary obligation to plan members?
Well, I think that's been suggested, and I think there's part of that in our legislation, but probably not fully enough to satisfy you.
No.
So let me look at what you want to add to it.
Okay. I mean, I'm not criticizing your bill. I don't want my office to end up in Bethesda. I'm not criticizing your bill. I like transparency. But we're just nibbling around the edges here. And with respect, Mr. Scott, your definition of a fiduciary is wrong. Fiduciary isn't somebody that controls the decision. You know that, and I know that. Fiduciary is somebody who has a legal obligation to give his client the best advice and to do what's best for his client. It doesn't replace agent with principal or vice versa. You know that, and I know that. Well, you need to talk to your lawyers. I may be wrong, but I doubt it.
Next, Kennedy pushes for real accountability. He argues PBMs should be legally required to act as fiduciaries, meaning they must put patients first, not profits. But here's the problem. Right now, PBMs manipulate rebates, forcing patients to pay sky-high costs based on fake list prices. Kennedy demands pass rebates directly to patients. And the expert agrees, this would slash out-of-pocket costs overnight. But will Congress act, or will Big Pharma keep winning?
Let me go back to Professor Sood. Tell me 2 things you would do tomorrow to fix PBMs and result in lower prices for consumers.
So I think the 2 things I would do is...
Very specific.
Yes. I would implement price transparency so that everyone knows what they're paying. And
Okay, price transparency just tells us who's screwing up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the fiduciary responsibility says if you're getting screwed, it can take you to court. So I would do those two things. And those are, I think, better than banning particular practices, because otherwise it's whack-a-mole. You ban spread pricing and something else will show up a year from now.
I got 29 seconds. Do you have any other suggestions? I appreciate your
So
straight talk.
the other thing we can do is what I recommended is pass through of rebates to patients. So suppose a drug.
Say that again.
So pass through of rebates to patients. So for example, the list price of a drug is $50,000, but the rebate on the drug is $40,000. So when a patient is paying cost sharing, suppose 10%, they should be paying on the post rebate price, which is the $50,000 less the $40,000 rebate. Right now, what's happening is patients are paying cost sharing on the $50,000. So this would immediately lower patient out-of-pocket costs. So as Dr. Kircher said, for the cancer patients.
So you're saying that, then I'm going to have to ask, the PBMs are jacking up, are encouraging manufacturers to jack up the list price so they can jack up their rebates.
And that
Is that right?
Yes.
That's illegal.
And the jacked
That's
up.
illegal.
Yes.
I'm
I don't
done.
know about that, but it.
I do.
Okay.
It's illegal as hell.
Yeah.
Finally, Kennedy nails it. Transparency alone isn't enough. We need laws that first expose PBM schemes so we know who's getting rich. And second, hold them legally accountable so patients can sue if they're cheated. As Kennedy says, otherwise, it's just whack-a-mole. And folks, that's exactly what's happening now. Every time we ban one shady tactic, they invent another. So here's the bottom line. PBMs and Big Pharma are gaming the system and you're paying the price. But politicians like Kennedy are fighting back and we need to demand action. What do you think? Should we ban vertical integration? Force PBMs to pass rebates to patients? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more uncensored political truth, subscribe now. We drop new videos every week exposing the elites who are screwing over hardworking Americans. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.